In 2015, Abel Penna released one of the final pieces of EU canon, a novella titled Skywalkers, featuring an Arcadian mutant named Zeta Magnus. Zeta Magnus was a mad scientist and geneticist terrorist who invaded the remote planet Sky before he was defeated by the Jedi during the Clone Wars. However, the story revealed that the Zeta Magnus who invaded Sky was merely a clone, and the evil geneticist was still very much alive and dangerous, ruling over the dark worlds in the unknown regions from his throne, Rennek Palace. The dark world his throne is on isn't named, but for EAWX it seems sensible to name the planet Rennek after the palace. Rennek and the Dark Worlds were largely blank slates, so I had the freedom to make basically whatever I wanted as long as there were three main criteria that were fulfilled. 1. The planet had a grand palace. 2. The planet suited a mad scientist. 3. The planet was somehow horrific. Inspired by H.R. Giger art, specifically the more fleshy derivatives of its style such as those found in video games, I created a grand palace of black stone covered in strange technology. Large swaths of fetid meat swell all around it, continuously growing even as it rots away. The meat is actually a combination of several different textures you might not expect, and it took numerous attempts before I could actually get the look I wanted. Sort of like Odic 2, I wanted to create a sense of shock in the players as they experience this map, attempting to showcase body horror within the limitations of Empire at War without creating new dedicated props for it. I wish for it to be instantly understood that this is a terrible, terrible place, and that it is home to something worse than the Imperials, perhaps even the Sith. Even if you've never heard of Zeta Magnus, it's likely that his appearance looks familiar to you. His origin is complicated, but interesting. Rennek, you see, is actually Kenner backwards. Around 1986, after the Star Wars movies ended, Kenner Toys wanted to continue the story and keep selling action figures, so they drew up a number of different ideas, some good, some goofy. But while Lucasfilm was generally receptive to some of the designs, ultimately the contract was rejected. Among these ideas was a new villain for the post-Endor, Atha Prime, ruler of the Dark Worlds. Rennek is not a main part of any of the three mods, but like many mysteries of the unknown regions, it will eventually have a minor role to play. In 0.5 onwards, Rennek will be a cloning world in the mod, so please look forward to it.